Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera. You guys, I hope you're having an awesome day. It's podcasting day. I love podcasting. I love talking to you guys. I know I don't know all of you, but it is so fun. I just met someone at a Paul Goodman event and she knows who she is. She's a massive fan. So kudos to you. I try to keep you guys anonymous on the podcast as much as possible, but it was so fun to meet you in person and just to hear you guys' life stories and how the podcast is helping you be a better person, helping you become more of who you want to be, inspiring you, giving you tips on all things dental plus life. And guys, that is the whole purpose of this podcast, is to positively impact the world of dentistry in the greatest way possible. So guys, I love you guys. I adore you. I'm grateful for you that I get to work with and we get to have in our Dental Team family. I'm also thankful for those of you who are just passive listeners and active listeners, taking action, tagging us on social media. It's really fun to see you, leaving us reviews. So thank you. If you guys haven't left us a review, please do so. Head on down, leave us 5 stars. Tell us how this podcast has changed you for the better. Share this podcast with your friends. Tag us on social media. It's so fun. I just saw someone tag us on social the other day that said, listening to the podcast, loving what I'm hearing. Shout out to you. Thank you for that. So guys, if you haven't, make yourself feel a little bit better. Go do something good. Share this so that way we can help more people learn how great dentistry and living a great life can be. All right, guys, today is going to be a tactical in a way that I feel is probably a cutting edge idea, but something I think a lot of us are not actually actively doing, and that is on culture creation. So I did a really fun magazine article at the beginning of the year, and it was really telling because they asked me a question. You guys can Google it. It's Authority Magazine. You can watch the video we made. And it asked me for my 5 tips I wish I would have known before becoming a CEO. So I have a video. Go check it out, guys. Authority Magazine. You guys can just Google Kiera Dent, top 5 things of a CEO. Also, I'll have Alex and Sissy link this in the show notes so you guys can see it. But it really made me think of if I could go back in time, what do I wish I would have known before becoming a CEO? And the answer is, one of them in this was to be a culture master is what I called it. And I didn't realize how much the culture of my company was dependent on me as a person. And so culture, I don't believe just happens. I used to think it did. I was like, all right, hire great people and have it go. Culture is a freaking day in, day out experience for better or for worse. And sometimes I'm like, I got to keep growing as a person. Otherwise, my culture is not going to be one of growth. So for me, culture creation starts with you as a leader. It starts with you, and team members, guess what? You're a leader as well. You don't have to have the title. You can be a culture creator as well as a team member. Doctors, you've got to be the culture creator. And at the end of the day, the culture is a reflection of you, 100% you. So if there are things you don't like about your team, don't go pointing at them and yelling at them and having frustration with them. Look at you first, period. That's one of my favorite things. When I read Extreme Ownership and they said, your team is a direct reflection of you, I was like, oh gosh, that was a doozy of a day. Let me just shut this book off and pretend I never heard that. I can't. It's literally burned in my mind of realizing everything good or bad in my company is a direct reflection of me. So I need to look at it. I also had a business coach teach me one time. She said, Kiera, everything that drives you crazy in someone else, you only see it in them because it's in you. Oh, that was a doozy. I was like, oh, those people are so annoying. They gossip all the time. I probably gossip all the time. Oh, those people are so obnoxious. They're always late. Oh, shoot. I'm always late. And guess what? I didn't think that was real. I thought that coach was absolute ludicrous. And then I started seeing, how could that be real? And she was right. We only see in life what we focus on. We only see the things. You guys, I see white Teslas everywhere because we bought one and it's so fun to drive. But I see that. I didn't used to see it everywhere, but I see it now. So that means for better or for worse, the things that we are, who we are, We see because it's a part of us. And I believe that life is just a reflection back to me. So what I'm seeing in my team members that I don't like, that's a good invitation for myself to level up. That's a good invitation for me to realize, I should probably change that. In my marriage, in my family, those things are pieces that are helping me level up, growing me into the next version of myself. This is how culture is created, is by you showing up as a leader and doing your job, and that is guiding the culture. I remember I was at another conference. Guys, these things like burn in my mind. I should stop going, but I love them because they make me a better person. So hopefully this podcast is doing the same for you and serving you in the same way other people have served me. I remember one person said, CEOs, show up, do your job. And I've thought about what is my job? It's building the culture. It's giving the vision. It's being direct. Show up, do your job. So with culture creation, first step is starting with you. I'd love to give you tips on how you can create it. But if I don't tell you the reality of what you see in your team that you don't like, change that in you. What you see in others that you don't like, change that in you. You'll stop seeing it. I promise you, it won't be there. You won't notice it as much. Anytime I'm like, gosh, this person is so obnoxious because of X, I'm like, hold up. That to me is now just a red flag. And I'm like, I need to look at myself. I might change it. I might not change it. But that's a way that I can grow. And that's something you have total control over. It's easy, but not always fun to do. That's step 1 of culture creation. Step 2, it's a day in, day out. So I've got to be evolving myself to be the next best version of me and having my team do the same thing. Teams will stay with you for as long as it's serving both of you, just so you know. And guess what? For me, I'm a constantly growing person. I might outgrow some team members. They might outgrow me, but I need to be the person that I want my team to be. It's really cute because I have a quote from Tiffany every day. It's this little calendar. And today's quote is, be the person you want to have in your life. And I think that's very applicable to this culture creation. You've got to be that person. You've got to show up as that person. Who you want as your ideal team member. Are you being that, leaders and team members? And if not, let's start with you first, because guess what? A lot of the world can change just by us changing who we are. I think the world could be a lot better if we'd start with ourselves first, evolve ourselves before always going after other people. That's step 1. Step 2 is, here are some tangibles that you can do that I found really help with that culture. 1, having it a palpable culture. So what are those core values? Do you have it in vivid language? For us, I've shared before, how we speak, how we show up. What are the ways that our customer success team shows up? What are the way our consultants show up? What is the way I show up? What's the way marketing shows up? All those things. Let's have that in palpable vision so people can see it. On our marketing side, I literally have it written out. This is kudos to a friend of mine, where it says how our tone is. And I made it so what my scale is. A 1 is someone who's a jerk that doesn't like you, that doesn't listen to you. And a 10 is, and I listed them off. So I remember I had Nordstrom versus Walmart. That was one of my scales because I was like, how do we treat our clients? Walmart's a number 1 where it's just come in, low cost, come and go as you want. Nordstrom is we're going to hand pick out an outfit for you and deliver it to your dressing room for you while you're shopping. That just high-end luxury. And our company, I like us to sit a 7.5 to an 8. I don't want us to be quiet Nordstrom. That's a little excessive, but I definitely don't want our clients feeling like Walmart where you just come and go. It doesn't matter. It's dirty. It's not great. Guys, I love Walmart. I shop there, but that doesn't mean that's who I want our company to be. So having that scale. So now our team knows, anybody writing posts, anybody doing things, this is our marketing tone. This is our marketing brand, and it's palpable. And I think having those palpable writing, sayings, pieces that you read constantly, our team has them on their end of months every single month. We have it on our every single week. I have our team read out our core values and I delete them and make sure that they have them memorized, and our niche and the way we speak and the way we present as a company. It is so palpable that our culture, you better believe every one of my team members knows, challenges fire me up, wisdom flows through me. These are the things that we talk about because that's the culture I want our team to have. How many of you would just love to DIY and get the secrets of people who have been there, done that on your own time? Because I know for me, I love to learn from the best of the best, the people who have been there, done that, and can give me the shortcuts. That's why we have created our Dental A-Team Virtual Academy, where it's on-demand courses for you at your fingertips, where you literally can learn the secrets from all of my experience, all of Tiffany's experience, Brittany, Dana, our entire team's experience, at your fingertips. So stop taking the hard route, guys. There's a shortcut sitting there waiting for you, and it's also CE. Head on over to thedentalateam.com and click on our virtual academy. Be sure to use coupon code podcast and get started on that DIY and become the practice of your dreams. Yeah, it takes time, guys. You better believe I'm always like reading books, hearing podcasts, like stop, write this out. What do I want it to be? What are my core values? Let's revamp them. Let me rewrite them. Let me make sure that this is really the team I want to have. And I keep revising it. My team laughs all the time because our core values change. It just went from fire up with 1 P to fire up with 2 Ps. That wasn't me. That was Shelby. But I agree. A core value of ours is pivot. So we just now recently added pivot. So it's passion for excellence and pivot. And the reality is I love that because I need a team that has that culture that's palpable. So that's one level. So number 1 is grow yourself. Become the person you want to have in your life and constantly be evolving, whether that's through education, podcasts, listening to things, getting around a higher level friend group, whatever it is, but be that best version of yourself, looking at the things that drive you nuts and fixing them in yourself. Number 2 is have a palpable, written, tangible feeling of what the culture of your company is through core values, through the way you guys present for all the different positions and what that looks like. Put that on their job descriptions. Put that on your onboarding packets, guys. This is culture creation. Next up, we're then going to go into, I believe culture is a slow burn. And it's, for me, I want my culture to be one of positivity, of ownership, of impact. Those are the pieces I really love. So what we do is every single week, I do a Friday 5. I've talked about this before. It's something that my business coach told me to do, and now I'm sharing it with you guys. And I have consistently done it for 1.5 years every single Friday. Last week, I accidentally wrote it on Thursday, which I always do. I pre-schedule it on Boomerang to go out on Friday so I don't forget. I have an email that reminds me so I don't forget. Guys, I'm not a wizard over here that remembers. I have reminders too. But I sent it out on Thursday. I was in Hawaii, guys. I just hit send and I was like, well, I guess it's Thursday 5 that you should just pin and read on Friday. But the reality is I write 5 highlights, team updates, shout outs of team members. I choose 5 of the highlights from the week and I send it because I believe that we are creatures of momentum and we can either build momentum that's going up and is positive and is progressive and is ownership, or we can build momentum that is spiraling down where we're negative, we're nitpicky, we're constantly complaining, and I refuse complaining. If you are going to come to me with an issue, you better have 5 different solutions that we're going to choose. Period. That is my culture. And every person in my team knows, do not even go to Kiera with a problem if you do not have a solution. Like otherwise you're just complaining and that is a no-go, no. I just won't tolerate it because I don't have time to deal with that drama if you don't have a solution. If you're going to bring it up, let's bring it up to solve it forever and get rid of it. Some of my favorite books that I read are Ego is the Enemy, Traction, Get a Grip on Your Business, Extreme Ownership. I also really love The Go-Giver. The Go-Giver is truthfully the number 1 message of my team. Like that is who I live by. That was my first business book I was introduced to. And I just thought, dang, that was really smart. And I'm going to live by this. So it's like always giving more value than people ever expect. I also love like Be Our Guest, Creating Magic. Those are some great ones from Disneyland because I do definitely go off of them. I really also love, like, those are just some books that have been amazing ones for me as a leader to grow. You guys have other ones, please share them. I love book clubs because I think truly more wisdom is mined from the minds of men than from gold mines. So I think those pieces are pieces that I would say, if you want to build this culture, have fun with it, but then also have your team do it. So for me, morning huddles, the team is the culture creator. We have themes for our morning huddles. And so they do Motivational Monday, Testimonial Tuesday. What are testimonials from our clients? Because I want the momentum of good things in our company. I want to remind my team, I want team players that are getting testimonials, period. Everything we do needs to be so good we're getting testimonials. So let's build that fire. Let's read those shout outs every single week. Wednesday's core value shout out. Every team member calls people out of who's been doing something great and they highlight a core value. Thursday is Thankful Thursday. We all list off something we're thankful for because I definitely want a team of gratitude and appreciation. And Friday is Fun Friday because I just love having a fun life. My team does that morning huddle without me being there. I can't tell you the last time I was on Wednesday, core value shout out. That's my favorite shout out day. But they do it and they run it, whether I'm here or whether I'm not. And I truly believe that true culture creation is where your company, your business, your patient experience is the exact same, if not better, whether you as the leader are present or not present. For me, I travel. We have a virtual company. So I'm very intentional because I don't get to see these people. I don't get to see my team every single day like most of you at the practice do. But I think that that's been a blessing for me that I'm now sharing with you, because if each of you could think as if you never saw these team members for a year, how would you shift your culture? What things would you do differently? What things could you start to add in that might ramp it up? I have my whole team give shout outs to my team every single day. They are looking for goodness in each other. Every single day they're having something positive, because I want the momentum of positivity rolling and reaping through our company rather than it being a haphazard, put it on the shelf, we never talk about it. So that's what I would say for culture. So 1, start with yourself. 2, let's have you, I don't even remember what 2 was, guys, but because it made me think of something else of also getting your team on board and really thinking about what you want your culture to be. What do you want your culture to look like? Oh yeah, that was number 2, the palpable. And I think this is where it comes in of like, what is that culture? If you could hire the most dreamy employee, who would they look like? And what would their work ethic be? That's a good starting place of how you build that palpable, written out, tangible culture. Then you move into the daily things, the weekly things, the core values, the Friday vibes, building that momentum of whatever it looks like for you. And does this take time? The answer is yes. But I would ask you to choose your hard. For me, writing a Friday 5, usually 15 to 20 minutes. Having the core value shout outs and all that, nothing. Me having the palpable culture, yeah, we write it. It took me, a couple hours when I first started, and now I just revamp it every quarter. That's it. So when I really break it down, me working on me, that's probably the one that takes the most time. But like when I really break this down, 15, 20 minutes a week to write a Friday 5 versus team turnover, negativity, people who don't look and take the initiative, people who are backbiting. 15 minutes feels like a very small price to pay to build that culture. Me reading books, yeah. Guys, I probably read anywhere from 1 to 5 books a month, and I do it on Audible. I'm constantly growing myself. That's probably the part that takes me the longest, is that personal development. I usually attend at least one CE event every single month. And I usually will try and read at least one self-help book every single month. Those are my standards. Those are things I like. I've just become a CE junkie on it, a guru. But I also have a commitment that every book I write or read, every event I attend, I implement at least one thing from it. Unless it's a fiction book, of course, which I definitely do those as well. But that to me is how I'm able to start building this. These culture creations, those came from coaches, they came from mentors, they came from books I read, things that I implemented, core values. Shoot, I paid a traction coach to do that, and it was amazing. That's what we do for our offices to help you guys get that set up. But a lot of this sometimes takes coaches, takes books, takes execution. So guys, if you're wanting help with that culture creation, reach out. hello@thedentallyteam.com. I personally believe that culture creation is the best ROI for your time. The absolute best, because when you get that culture dialed in, your team is amazing. They run without you, and it gives the best experience to your patient day in and day out, whether you are there or whether you are not. If it only exists when you're there, you don't have a culture. You have a dictatorship. Build the culture. It should seep through, bleed through from every single person on your team. They're not all going to be like Tiffany Traders in the company. Tiff is like a walking Dental Team advertisement. She bleeds culture through her, and I love her for that. Not all my team members will be exactly that level. That's okay. They still are in that culture. They're created in it. They bond with it. They vibe with it. So guys, I'd encourage you, get this culture created, and just know that this is the best ROI for your time. All right, guys, as always, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time on the Dental Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.